And joining me now is Democratic Congressman from Washington, Adam Smith, who is also a ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman Smith, thank you very much for joining us during these times. Just want to get your take on what we're talking about here with these Venezuelan boat strikes, because these questions are mounting over its legality. And, you know, in the past, suspected drug boats would be stopped by the U.S. Coast Guard and then detained, and the crew would be detained. But now the Trump administration is reporting that these strikes have killed 27 people, and they insist they are not innocent people. What's your take on that?
Well, it's clearly illegal. There's not even really any particular debate about that. These are extrajudicial killings. We are not at war with these people. We're not at war with Venezuela. There is no imminent threat in terms of an attack on the United States. If you look at the law at all, the Constitution, the law of warfare, it's not legal to take a lethal strike in this situation. There's no possible justification for it. So that is deeply troubling. It's also troubling that the president hasn't really explained why we're doing this. I know we heard about the narco-terrorist states, but a lot more drugs come into this country from Mexico, from Colombia, from a whole host of other countries than do from Venezuela. So the focus seems to be on Venezuela. This doesn't seem to be so much focused on drug trafficking as it does on the president and the Secretary of State's problems with the Venezuelan government, which is fine. But if we're going to go to war with Venezuela, A, I think we need a much better reason, and B, it needs to be approved by Congress. There needs to be some legal justification for it. So I think this is a very, very concerning development that the president is A, dragging us into a conflict with Venezuela, but B, deciding that as president, he can kill whoever he wants to kill whenever he wants to do it, justification notwithstanding.
Yeah, as we've been watching this was the, I think, sixth vessel that we've seen being taken over or being hit with an airstrike, but 27 people. I mean, it is kind of, it's just new territory that we're in.
Yeah, and I want on the terrorist piece, and because I've worked on these issues for a long time on the Armed Services Committee, you know, we've dealt with ISIS and Al Qaeda and terrorists who were trying directly to blow up and kill Americans. And we passed authorizations for the use of military force in 2001 and 2003 to deal with that. But also, when these strikes were taken in those instances on the Armed Services Committee, we were briefed in detail on exactly who was hit and why. Who are these people specifically? Not vaguely, oh, they're part of a narco-terrorist group. No, we had names, organizations, specific intelligence that showed why this person was a threat to the U.S. None of that is present here, and the administration hasn't briefed any of the committees in Congress about what they're doing and why, not Armed Services, not Intel. So this is a very dangerous expansion of presidential power.
Yeah, many people find it very concerning, and maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe we will get those names, but we just don't have them yet. I've got to turn to Ukraine. Trump calling for Putin and Zelenskyy to, quote, stop where they are to end the brutal war. So as we take a look at what's going on that front, President Zelenskyy coming out of his meeting with Trump, saying that he's keeping his expectations about acquiring American Tomahawks at bay. That's a big issue. Let's take a look here at this map together. You're taking a look at the range of a Tomahawk missile that is at question here. So what's your position on America giving Ukraine long-range missiles for an offensive against Russian targets? Good idea, bad idea? Should it be done?
I think we need to put pressure on Putin. I think this is one way to do it. I would be in support of it. I would be in support of sanctions as well. Look, I mean, a couple quick points on this. One, it is good that the Trump administration has finally stopped attacking Ukraine and putting the pressure on Zelenskyy. They moved at least to a more neutral position to recognize the role that Putin is playing in this war. And the Trump administration is not actively undermining Ukraine or the alliance that is supporting Ukraine. And that's a huge improvement over the first 6 months of the Trump administration. But the one thing Trump has not done yet is put any pressure on Putin. He continually gives Putin a pass, literally rolling out the red carpet for him up in Alaska. If we're going to get Putin to stop this war, we have to convince him that he can't win and that we're going to put pressure on him. So whether that's sanctions or Tomahawks or further support for the alliance backing Ukraine, whatever it is, I want people to understand that's the path to peace. Once Putin knows he can't win, he's forced to negotiate. As long as Trump keeps giving him hope and an opening that we'll abandon Ukraine or not put pressure on Putin, that incentivizes Putin to keep fighting.
So I bet you've heard about, I've got to turn to another topic here, about this No Kings protests that are going on throughout the country. Republican lawmakers, including Speaker Mike Johnson, are calling these protests Hate America rallies. What do you say to Republicans who claim these demonstrations are anti-American? I mean, we've got the First Amendment to deal with, but as you take a look at what's happening across the country on your screen, it's been quite active.
Yeah, look, I am deeply troubled by what Mike Johnson said. I consider Mike Johnson to be a friend. I've worked with him. Protesting against the president, expressing that you don't support the president of the United States, that's hating America? I mean, the same people who defended the people who stormed the United States Capitol. I mean, they physically attacked the Capitol to try to overturn an election, and that was dismissed. All right. But if you stand up and say, look, I don't like Trump's policies on Venezuela, on the way he is doing immigration enforcement, on the way he is using the Justice Department to carry out his personal vengeance. In America, if you stand up and say, I don't like that, I think it is contrary to our democracy, and the Speaker of the House says those people hate America, what, we have to salute Donald Trump now? If we don't love Donald Trump, we hate America? I mean, I really fear for the future of our constitutional republic when the Speaker of the House says that protests who oppose the president, by definition, hate America. I mean, that is just a ridiculous assertion. And I am going to participate in a couple of these protests later on today. And let me just assure your viewers, I do not hate America. I love this country.
All right, very good. Democratic Congressman Adam Smith from Washington, I appreciate your perspective on all of it. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll talk again soon. And we're going to keep the conversation going with perspective from the other side now. Joining me now is